Hello, literature lovers. Today I am talking about Commonwealth literature, what it is all about. It is connected with post colonial literature in English, new literature in English, and world writing in English. These are just some of the terms being used to describe the writings of members of the former British Empire. The number of titles, however, reflect the growing international importance of such writings as evidenced this talking about the Commonwealth literature, the writers among the globe, and they contemporary all the Commonwealth writers include Michael Odachi, the Sri Lankan Canadian author of The English Patient, the book that inspired the movie. I'm not talking about the term. It was first used by Oliver Cromwell in 1649. It's related to 17th century to be precise. It is and defining the Commonwealth, expanding the original sense of the mean a state in which the supreme power is vested in the people, a republic or democratic state, and the term evolves to become a title to a number of political entities. So that's what the Commonwealth is all about in that precision. Now, how what is Commonwealth literature or the post-colonial literature and how it reflects it? And some scholars argue that a very notion of Commonwealth itself is quite narrow and misleading, and others criticize the term as anachronism. So you can have different opinions about it, how it really goes on. Well, in fact, according to Salman Rushdie in his Commonwealth literature doesn't exist defines it as a body of writing created in English language by a person who are not themselves white or Irish or citizen of the United States of America. That was Rushdie's view that it doesn't really exist. Now, what other things that come across is the post colonial literature and the New English, or also called the world literature in English. Obviously, it is related to the British Empire, but what's the difference between Commonwealth or versus the post colonial thing, and the bifurcation and the difference is given here, how it really differs from it. That Commonwealth and are interviewed and hard to tear them apart, no doubt about it. But post-colonial literature, unlike Commonwealth, is particularly tied to informed by its history. That's what is the main difference that really matters in this particular state. And Commonwealth literature died and reincarnated, in fact, as post-colonial literature, and the two terms are still essentially used today. Now, talking about the Commonwealth nations and how we're talking, and when you try to think, it's an organization primarily of formed territories of British Empire, which often refer simply as just the term Commonwealth. Now, because of the evolution and growth, the Commonwealth literature concept came into practice in mid 20th century as aftermath of the American War of Independence, and the original grouping started in 1931 comprising Australia, Canada, South Africa and New Zealand. Independence was granted to India in 1947, and India decided to stay in the Commonwealth after becoming a republic in 1950. So it is part of the Commonwealth state. And Commonwealth literature can be studied in two different categories: the literature written in those of Commonwealth countries where English is practically a native language, like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, it is there, and literature written in those countries where English is used as second language, like India and African countries, and also West Indies, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Now, talking about the third world Commonwealth literature, third world, it's a term coined by economist Alfred Surrey. So we used to denote the countries not aligned to the first world countries or the second world nations, that is the Soviet Union. So the third word is associated with the poverty and social strife, all the synonyms term are called. and then you have their own literature. The third world Commonwealth countries truly begin in the second quarter of the 20th century. Not talking about the link with it, the Commonwealth literature, its common experience of British colonies, use of English in contemporary life, and the influence of the British literature and tradition, and which are also called that colonial hangover going all through it. You can see the complexities of the combination of the socio-culture background of both the countries, British and the native one, which because of the migration colonialism that was forced on these countries. Now coming back to the authors, who are they and belonging to the different countries, Commonwealth literature is rich in poetry and fiction but poor in drama and non-fiction prose and literary criticism, and these are the authors all belong to different nations. Some of the very famous ones are mentioned here. Some of the popular ones are Salman Rushdie, no doubt about it, Ruth Javala and Kazuru Ishiguro, who also won Nobel Prize in Literature. Salman Rushdie have a quite wide representation of Indian British novelists. Other popular are J.D. Smith and Kazuru Ishiguro, who won the Nobel Prize belonging to Japan, and also got Man Booker Prize, showing that culture. Now talking about the other terms that related to Commonwealth literature is mentioned here, including the anti-imperialism, diaspora, discourse, subaltern, hegemony, and subjectivity. The multiplicity of other terms are Commonwealth literature is all connected to which I have just discussed. That's all for today. I hope you must have got an overall perspective. Keep studying, keep working hard. Do subscribe to the channel and get more content from it. Do share your views in the comment section below. Tell us more which books you are reading nowadays and what are your panel discussion going on with friends. Keep reading, keep enriching yourself. Literature is not only empowering you but also give you wings to fly in the sky of knowledge, which really has a great deep thought. Keep reading, never lose, at least once a week or twice a week. It will really help you in entertaining yourself. Thanks for being part of it. Thanks for listening.